Hello everyone, I'm the Solo Gamer, and welcome to Sid Meier's Civilization Beyond Earth. That's right, I got a chance to play the first 100 turns of Beyond Earth. Now, I did go down to San Francisco, all expenses paid from 2K Games itself. I have to say that for legal reasons. But yeah, this game is fantastic. So, what this game does is combines, I'm not going to say it combines Alpha Centauri with Civilization 5, but literally that's the gist of it. So as you can see here, we're going over our different countries and civilizations we could play as. So the first one is the ARC, or the American Reclamation Corporation. We have the Pan-Asian Cooperative, Franco-Iberia, Slavic Federation, Paul-Australia, Cavathon Protectorate, Brasilia, and the African Union, each controlling different pieces of the world, or Earth, I should say. Now, the reason why we are on a different planet is because what was it? I'm not even sure when the date was, but there was this great mistake, and these countries joined together and went up into the stars and started colonizing other planets, and this is where we are right here. Now, right off the bat, we can choose ourselves a colonist, and each different colonist comes with its own special perk. So, the first one is scientists, second one refugees, aristocrats, engineers, and artists. And each one, like I said, gives itself its own different perk to start your colony in a different way than other people would. Obviously, each one is going to be different and have different effects on the future of your colony, but generally, it's going to give you the boost right at the beginning of the game. It's going to be very, very helpful for you and separate you from the other civilizations. Okay, so now we can choose our spacecraft, and each of these little things gives us a different, unique ability to start off the game with. So at the first, we can see Continental Surveyor, so we can reveal all coasts on the map, and I chose that. And here we can choose our cargo, things that we bring down to the planet that will help us right off the bat. So I picked Weapon Arsenal, which lets us begin with a special soldier unit. Now we can also choose our planet, obviously enough. Now, right here we can see that we have 3 planets that are pre-made. So Boischer 572C, Boeckman 591C, and Jones 282D. Those are the 3 planets that are pre-made right now, but we'll get into that a little bit later. They think this will be a challenge. They don't realize economics is nothing more than sociology followed through to its logistical conclusion. If you understand the various factors which define people and their desires, you can be prepared to give them what they want. Once you know that, starting from scratch is easy. I will lead this colony to great riches, and ARC will profit, once I have my share. Yes, ARC obviously meaning the American Reclamation Corporation.
I am the Advanced Integration and Simulation Resource, or Advisor. I am equipped to introduce you to the basic systems that will guide your development on this new planet. Additionally, I can provide strategic advice based on situations you encounter. How would you like me to proceed?
Right, okay, so this is my first playthrough. Now, this isn't post-commentary because while I did have my own computer, it was an open room, and there really wasn't enough quiet time, I should say, for me to actually get a recording going. There were people walking in and out, and it was a great room, and I got to play Civilization Beyond Earth, so I'm not complaining. But I didn't actually feel comfortable recording in a room like that. So as you can see, this is where we start off. We can choose our starting location. Now, anywhere in the red is where we can settle down our first colony. So right off the bat, we're going to see that it's somewhat similar to Civilization 5 in the way of settling down your city in the best possible location. So I settled next to the river because we're going to get a little bit more food and energy. There we go. We settle down central. Perfect. That is our capital. And we also start with our soldier unit, as you saw we chose earlier. Alright. We also have a scout unit in the bottom right that allows us to do different things here and there. I'll explain that a little bit later. There we go. Let's explore this alien world. I have to say, I really enjoyed this playthrough that I did. And I have 2 other videos that might come out within the next 2 days, maybe, that will show you different playstyles as well. Now, in this playstyle, I'm going to try to go over Supremacy. Supremacy is one of the 3 affinities in this game, focusing on war and conquest, essentially. Now, we also have Harmony, which essentially means that you want to integrate your civilization into the alien landscape around you, and you'll see funky little things here and there that'll happen from that. And then you have Purity, which basically means preserving the history of the human civilization. So as you can see, as we're looking right now, we can see all of the coastline on this planet, which is really, really cool. So we know where all of the islands are, as opposed to maybe another civilization that doesn't know anything about the planet. Now, I do have to say that the other civilizations have not yet settled down.
This is the city screen. It allows you to change what this city is building.
And I'm just going to talk over this advisor because you don't really need to know this right now. So, yes, the other civilizations are not yet settled down, and you'll see them pop down their little headquarters as we go throughout the game. They're not immediate, which is different than what you would expect from a civilization game. You know, right off the bat, everybody settles down at once. But no, this is a bit different. Everybody basically comes after you. And I'm not sure if there are possibilities for coming before, but I know that they come after you, and it's a big deal. You'll be able to see them right off the bat. It's actually really, really cool. Alright, so I'm just looking at what to build right now. So I think I'm going to go with a clinic. The clinic gives us some extra health, which is basically our happiness in this game. So happiness, unhappiness, the health controls basically your growth. And I forget what the other thing the clinic gave us, but we're looking at the tech web right now, and the tech web is actually very, very different from what you'd expect from a Civilization game. I keep comparing this to Civilization. I have to state right off the bat here that this is not Civilization 6. This is its own new IP that Firaxis has been working on. Like I said, that combines Alpha Centauri with Civilization 5. And I think they did it well. And this tech tree is here to prove that, because by the end of the game, or I shouldn't say by the end of the game, but roughly in the middle of the game, you're going to have different technologies from the other civilizations. So it's going to create a very, very diverse playthrough. Alright, now I'm just choosing what to go with here. Obviously, starting a new game like this with a tech tree is always something I find hard to do because I don't know what to go for right off the bat. This was my first time playing, and I didn't really have prior knowledge to what the tech tree would be. Now, that being said, I still think that the tech tree is a fantastic piece of technology planning thingy. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but yeah, it's fantastic, and there's a lot of cool technologies that I want to experiment with, you know, as I get the game later on.
One of our units has walked into a cloud of strange alien miasma. This miasma is toxic and will damage our units and equipment if they remain here. Until we understand this substance better, we should avoid it if possible.
Yes, that's right. So they have added miasma, or miasma, to the game, which means that traversing the landscape is going to be a little bit harder than expected. You cannot land in miasma, you know, and stay there for a turn. It's kind of like... I'm trying to think of an equivalent in Civilization 5. Regardless, we have met our first alien unit, and it is quite terrifying. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Oh, Tiangong. Okay. Alright, so we have the Pan-Asian Cooperative on the planet already, and as you saw, it was kind of a glorious landing that they did there and settled down their colony. Now, we basically have all of the general stuff for diplomacy that was in Civilization 5, despite a few differences here and there. I should mention, at the very, very top right-hand side of the screen, I'm not going to point to it because, like I said, this is post-commentary, but we have ourselves our strategic resources, which are those three icons. I'm not sure exactly what they're called. I think the third one, which is the fire-looking thing, is Firaxium. Okay, and I don't know what the other two are right now. The next tab over would be our culture, and culture...
I may be able to assist you.
Yes, yes. I know. I should have really turned off the advisor, but I was learning as well. Now, those sea creatures were terrifying to look at first, but I just had to take a shot at one. I really did. It was too easy. There we go. Didn't do much damage, and I felt regretful after that. We're up to the culture tab, right? Yes, we have 4 out of 20. And once we grab that, I'll explain more about what you can grab.
You have a new quest available.
Oh, a quest. Okay, let's see what this one is. Found an outpost. Right. For our colony to prosper, we should consider expanding. We should focus our efforts on researching how to create new outposts for the colony. Right, okay, so outposts are basically new colonies, okay? But it's different because when you go to settle your city... Okay, don't pay attention to the advisor. I really should have turned that off at this first playthrough, but it's fine. So when you settle down your first city, it starts as an outpost. And until it grows... it's subject to low defense and really kind of useless. I mean, you have to defend it until it becomes its own colony. And then once it becomes that colony, you are golden to build buildings and all that good stuff. Alright, so in this playthrough, I am going to go for the supremacy route, or at least more of the warmongering type of...
I have important information for you.
Important information? Well, excuse me. Alright, there we go. Just exploring this this bottom tip of the landscape. Ah, here we are. The virtues.
Choose the virtues that will shape your civilization. You spend your accumulated culture to acquire them. The deeper you go in each row or column, the more bonuses you will earn.
Right, yes, this is what I was talking about. So instead of policies, we have virtues, and this is going to be quite interesting for playthroughs because we have 4 different trees that we can go down. Might, prosperity, knowledge, and industry. Might focuses on military prosperity, on growth. I just forgot the other 2. Industry, I think, focuses on production, and then research or culture, or science, I should say, focuses on more sciencey stuff. I think that's what it was. I closed it before I even read all of it. Yes. And then we have energy, which energy is essentially money in this game. You use energy to buy things. Okay. We have technology over there as well. Science, that's pretty standard. Turns, pretty standard as well. We're only on the 5th turn. Okay. So they actually attacked us, which is not good, so I decided, you know what? You don't deserve to live. Humans should live on this planet, you know? And we shouldn't need to cooperate with the natives. Yes. Alright, so there is a research pod, and what that is, or resource pod, I should say. What that is like a ruin in the game. Now, there are actually different ruins around here that I should kind of explain in a bit. Oh, we have a new person. Freelance. Okay.
Come, Mr. Hubbard. The Commonwealth welcomes you.
Yes, so this is Australia, and Australia is essentially the combined countries of Polynesia and Australia. So all those islands out there, Australia, New Zealand, stuff like that. I should say that the Pan-Asian Cooperative is, I believe, the Asian countries. I'm not sure if it includes Japan or not, but I know it's China for sure. Alright, so let's get that guy back to healing the colony, because he's really damaged. And go over this resource pod. There we go. Perfect. And we gained 16 research. Lovely. Alright, so let's keep exploring. Whoa! Okay, so we have some manticores, and what those are alien ranged units. They're pretty scary to look at, so we're just gonna run away. Oh, this guy's back to tango. Alright, let's knock him out. Good. Alright. That should show him. He should leave and never come back, because he's terrifying as well. I really was quite terrified when meeting these new aliens, because I hadn't seen prior... I mean, I've seen footage of the game when I went to PAX, but it's terrifying when you're playing it and you meet these creatures, and it's just terrifying. It really is. But we have some new quests. Occupational hazard. It's clear that the indigenous species of this planet may pose a threat to our growth. Moving forward, we must decide how to deal with them. Do we attempt to domesticate them or wipe them out? Well, I think I want to wipe them out, but that's just in my own opinion. Now, here are our victories. I'm not... See, I skimmed through all these, but I didn't actually really read them. And I'm not quite sure exactly how they work. Now, I only got to play up to the first 100 turns, as I keep stating, so I didn't get to play one of these victories out. However, it seems like there's a lot of opportunities to win the game, and I like that. I really do. Yeah, so we have Transcendence, Emancipation, the Promised Land, Domination, and Contact. Each one with different subrequisites. Alright, quest decision. Yes, this is that decision that we just looked at. So, do we eradicate or domesticate? Now, each one's going to give us some points towards our affinities that you can see at the top left. And I chose eradicate because why not, right? It's perfect. Okay, so let's move our rover again. Now, our rover also has an ability to excavate ruins, and that's what I was going to talk about to you.
I have something that needs your attention.
Yes, thank you. Okay, that's what I was going to talk to you about, but I don't know if we find ruins in this this playthrough. I'm not sure. I think so, but it's going to be a little bit later. He's still back. He wants to die. I mean, we're going to have to take him out. That gigantic whale thing is going to have to die. Oh, another resource pod.
I have important information for you.
Yes, so that is an artifact. That old settlement or colony or whatever you want to call it, the derelict, abandoned establishment, whatever it is, we can excavate that one time with the rover. So once we excavate that, the rover uses up its own ability, and we can't actually do that again with that same rover. We're going to have to either build a new rover or upgrade the rover to have more than one use. Alright, so we have enough points to develop a virtue. So I'm going to go into the might category, obviously enough, because I want to focus on war in this game. Conquest. Supremacy. Kill the alien invaders. Well, technically we're the alien invaders, but you know what? For the terms of this playthrough, I was here before that whale was, right? Yeah, he came into my land. Oh, jeez. I don't know. It's fine. So we're going to go over here into this derelict settlement and excavate it. Now, notice that we do have some miasma here, so it is actually going to take away damage from us each turn. So it's very, very risky to go in there and take that out. Alright, so now we're going to work on, let's see. I think I'm going to work on another soldier because I want to go ahead and destroy some more aliens, because I want to be sure that Central is protected. There we go, you're dead. Okay, fantastic. The sea dragon is gone. Lovely. Oh, dang it. Kill him! Go! Get out of my land! Alright, lovely. So the one thing that I want to point out with the affinities is that... Oh, never mind. That is a lot of wolf beetles. Yeah, that's terrifying. Okay, and there's also another derelict settlement over there.
Consider a simple problem, such as navigation in a spaceship approaching light speed.
That is a simple problem. Alright, so we unlock the Ranger, the Observatory, the Launch Complex, and +1 production from quarry improvements. Lovely. Alright. I'm gonna kill that sea dragon again. Yeah, so one thing I wanted to mention about the affinities is that once you choose an affinity to go down, or once you become sufficient enough to be... Like, affinities are like ideologies, okay? So once you have one, you can change your units to match what your affinity is. And there are 3 different types of unit appearances that you can grab by the end of the game from each different affinity. And I have to say that each one looks, in its own right, very, very awesome. And I hope that I show this in this video, but if not, then it'll be in the other 2 videos, because I remember I showed some of it. Alright, so right here is the orbital map, and if we have a satellite to launch, which we will later on, you can launch them above any tile you want to gain the bonus of the satellite there. So I think we launched later on a solar array, which gives us more energy on the tiles it surrounds. And like I said, I'll show that a little bit later. Okay, lots of aliens inbound. Alright, let's go ahead and... I don't know. I think we should just retreat. Yeah, let's just get out of here. I think that'll be wise. Oh, expedition completed!
Your explorer has discovered something wonderful. There are many more sites like this to investigate around the world, so you might want to consider building additional explorers to send to these locations.
Yes! Okay, so our expedition is completed, which means we have... What do we get? Refugees gratefully agree to join one of your cities. So we gained 1 population in Central, because that's our only city. Perfect! And as you can see, we took some damage there. So we gotta get out of the miasma, and I think I'm just gonna heal for now. That'll be fine. Now, like the advisor said, we do have to build more explorers to go and look at the other ones, and I didn't know that at the time, so you're gonna watch me kind of run around to see what's going on. Alright, there we go. So that is an alien nest. So just like the barbarian camps, the aliens will spawn from that, I believe. So to wipe out most of the aliens in the area, you have to go ahead and wipe that out. Now, next up, we're gonna go ahead and work on survivalism, which is going to give us... Do I hover over it? No, I guess not. Okay, never mind. I'm not really going to go into detail. Once we get a Let's Play going of this game, I'll go more into detail and talk about different things. Oh, we're being attacked by the Manticore. Yes, that's one thing to note, is that no matter what your affinity is, and no matter how aggressive the aliens are towards you, if you get in range of their alien nest, they will attack you no matter what. You know, it's kind of a defensive territorial thing. They will attack you. Now, I just knocked that out, so they're going to be really mad at me. Which is fine. I mean, they'll get over it. And we're going to go ahead and take out that resource pod and see what that's going to give us. Quest updated. Station charter. Several new ventures wish to establish their operation near our territory. Alright. They provide different services that may be useful to us. Kyo Gungans, yes, Jar Jar, is an applied sciences skunkworks. They specialize in converting military tech to civilian use, and are known as pioneers of autonomous domestic systems. Shackleton is a survey and geological mapping enterprise. Their reports on the alien landscape and ecosystems could lead to progress in a variety of fields, from scientific research to nature tourism. Alright.
You've discovered a station. You can establish trade routes with stations to receive various supplies that your people may need.
Thank you, Advisor, for summing up what I was going to say. So these act as city-states. You can trade with them by cargo trucks or sea trade routes, and get whatever it said it did. So I think that was culture and science, which is fantastic. Ooh, Megan.
The African people greet you.
Yes, this is the African Union, which I believe are the sub-Saharan African countries. Basically split Africa in half, and the southern half I think is the African Union. I could be wrong, but I think so. Oh, well, excuse you. Yeah, she wanted a lot of things from me, and I didn't know. No, that's fine. We're just not going to worry about her. Alright, so I'm still in miasma, so I'm still taking damage, which is not that good, but we did grab that research pod, which gave us 40 energy. That's fantastic. And we also have some more soldiers that we can send out to defend our colony. Alright, so let's research something new. Let's see. So we already researched physics and pioneering. There's a lot to research, and okay, I guess I'm going after ballistics. The one thing that I found is that a lot of these had times on them that I just couldn't do. So like 90 turns, I can't go that way because I only have 100 turns. So I kind of had to think in that aspect too. I really wanted to see what those, you know, units are and those technologies, but honestly, I didn't have the time to do that. Alright, so we're going to go with ecology, which actually gives us a very, very cool building, which is the ultrasonic fence. And the ultrasonic fence keeps away aliens from coming within 2 tiles of your city. Now, one thing that I didn't notice until right now is that there is a gigantic siege worm on its way to my capital. And these siege worms are badass. They are humongous. Look at how much damage that's gonna... Like, nothing. That's not gonna do shite. I mean, they're scary. They are entirely scary, and you'll see in a future video why they're so scary. I mean, it's terrifying. It really is. So I'm building a ranger in 7 turns, and obviously, as the ranger's name suggests, it is a ranged unit. Yes, it's like a sniper unit, I would say. Yeah, so I'm not even going to bother hitting him.
Is yours.
Oh!
For a price.
Right, yes, let's work together. Paul Australia and the Ark are working together. Yes, okay, so while he did move into my land... Okay, so they were describing the siege worm as a unit that basically tries to get from point A to point B. It's not intending on hitting you when it's like this, but it can. So you're at risk if it's around your city, and it's the beginning of the game. All of your units are at risk, which is really just scary. And as you saw there, the bones, or the fossil, I should say, was another one of those, like, derelict settlements. Oh, you want open borders? Yeah, sure. So you'd have to go ahead and excavate it, but since we don't have any points on the rover for that, we can't actually do it.
You have finished construction on a unit which can launch into orbit. To launch it, select the unit and click its action button. Once launched, it will have an area effect on the tiles beneath it until it deorbits.
Right, yes, okay, so in that resource pod, we actually got ourselves a satellite. Now, the one thing about satellites that I should mention is that after a while, they will deorbit, and you'll have to build another one. So let's go ahead and launch that thing into space, and as you can see, we have a radius. Now, on this radius, it will give a bonus to whatever it does. Now, I'm going to look for it here because I didn't know what it did. And there we go. So, +1 energy on tiles you own, and any city in range also receives 20% energy overall, which is just fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and launch that basically right over our capital. There we go. Beautiful. There it is. Look at that. That is awesome. And as we're hovering over the ground, you can see the difference that it makes, which is really, really cool. Alright, so the unit upgrades. This is where I was talking about the different affinities. Now, as you can see on the bottom, you see 3 different types. So, purity, harmony, and supremacy. And each one gives you a different appearance for your units as you go down those routes. And it's just fantastic. They really put a lot of thought into this, and I love it. I really do. And each one is different, and it makes it... This game is going to be fantastic. It really will. Now, one way to grab some affinities is to research technology. Now, as you can see here, you can see a bunch of different affinity points are in some technologies. Now, obviously, you can just grab every technology if you wanted to, but if you want to focus on a certain affinity, you would have to research that technology. If not, finish quests or get resource... Actually, I don't think resource pods have it. But yeah, so get quests or in technology. And that siege worm is still kicking around my base, which is quite terrifying, but we'll deal with that eventually. I am going to note that the small details in the game are stuff like this, and I absolutely love them, as I've said before in Civilization. I love the small animations, I love the small details that are put into the game, so like the city artwork, it looks fantastic. The water, the miasma, everything. All together just makes me love this game, it really does. Alright, so that siege worm is leaving our base. That's fine. He was going, like I said, from point A to point B. Didn't really care if he was in my land or not. He's been here for centuries. Who am I to judge where he goes? So as you can see there, it is another excavation, but what I didn't know at the time was that I can't actually excavate something more than once with this rover. Okay, so that siege worm actually decided to come back. But, regardless, we actually have a civilization settling down right next to us.
El pueblo unido de Sudamérica le da la bienvenida.
Yes, and it is Brasilia, which is the South American, country group. It's basically all of South America, I believe. And their capital is Citadela, which is awesome.
Only one military unit can occupy a tile at a time.
Yes, thank you. It's just like Civilization. Occupying one tile at a time, hex grid, everything. I think that this format works for games like this. They really do. And of course, that was the biggest controversy with, Civilization 5, is that the hex grid and the unit stacking was going to change the game entirely, and it did, but for the better. It really did, because the stacking was a bit ridiculous in Civ 4. It was fun, but it was really ridiculous looking back, you know what I mean? So, I really like this new way of playing the game. Alright, oh! The siege worm looked like it attacked the city for a second there, but I got a little bit scared, but it seems to be okay. For the time being. He seems to be staying around my base, which is not that good, though. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Now, one thing that I was planning on doing was going to try to assault Citadela, so that I could, show off the war mechanics of the game. First and foremost, though, I wanted to protect the city. So I decided I'm going to wage war on this siege worm, which might have been a bad decision looking back. Oh! Another settlement. Let's see who this is. Ah, Mandira.
The temple doors of the Protectorate are open.
Right, this is the Kavathan Protectorate, which is the Indian countries. Or India and... actually, probably just India. I don't know. I don't know exactly who else would be in that group. Alright, keep exploring our continent that we're on, which is perfect. And then I noticed that the soldiers literally do nothing towards the siege worm, and they just get wiped out. So I decided it was probably in my best judgment not to attack them with the soldiers, and rather with the ranger. There we go, look at that. Beautiful. And then we're probably just going to run away from this thing. I don't trust attacking it with my soldiers. Also, I want to apologize for the bars on the left and right-hand side of the screens. Screen. I didn't know this at the time, but I was actually recording in a weird format because Shadowplay was kind of screwed up. So, I apologize for that. This is not exactly how the game would look. It's just, for some reason, the resolution was set differently on Shadowplay than what it should have been. So, like I said, I apologize for that, but it doesn't look all too bad. It really doesn't. Alright, so I'm looking at computing. Computing's going to take about 40 turns, which isn't really looking too good, because that'll get me around 70, 70 turns into the game, and I don't know exactly how much more I can research after that, but I'm going to try to go for it anyways. Just because, you know, it's got some cool things in it. Oh, look at this! Another explorer. Right, the Nathaton Protectorate Explorer, I believe? Yeah, it said KP, so that's, Nathaton. Alright, we're still gonna try to attack this, the Siege Worm. It's not going to be an easy fight, but luckily it's not attacking us. If it was attacking us, then we would just lose entirely.